right, guys, the big talk over the last couple of days is Xavien Howard's money is coming due, and we've got about 17 players that we're ready to add in all the talk that's going on. And I know it's always fun to add stuff. It's always fun to get new talent. It just adds to the hope. But I want to cover here today his contract and what that money can do for us, what it really needs to do for us. And when you look at the numbers and you look at the situation soberly, not like, you're the drunk at the bar and chicken wings galore and you're just going, knee deep in chicken wings because you just want to have all you can eat. But if you look at it from a realistic standpoint, this money will serve us better next year than this year. And I kind of screwed up. I had electricity out the other day in my mountains getaway. And I was doing things from memory, and I did a little thing on a cap. I said, we get this guy. I had flipped the numbers in my memory, and Garrett, a good commenter, said, dude, I think you screwed that up. And I was like, really? My memory was Swiss cheese on that, and I thought we would have a lot more maneuverability. So I went back to refresh my memory because the head isn't what it used to be, and I was taken back. Now, this doesn't mean we're doomed, but it means that there's a reality. I remember at the beginning of this offseason, I said, and I even said in 22, we better sign Hunt and Wilkins or else we're going to be in trouble. We might say goodbye to them. But at the beginning of the offseason, I said, we're probably going to lose Hunt. We're probably going to lose Wilkins. We're probably going to lose VG. We're probably going to lose Connie ain't coming back. And I don't even know if we're going to give Tua his fifth-year contract. I said, but maybe. But, we're going to give him an extension. We're going to give him the fifth-year contract. I'm going to ride. We weren't going to give him the extension. And some people were saying, nice, not bad or anything, but like you're hurting your cause, you're lowering your credibility by saying we're not going to get these guys back. And lo and behold, I was right. I had spent a lot of time on the numbers. If I do it from my memory, the monkey man will screw it up. But if I'm looking at it, and I think I do pretty good, and I have over the years. And you're going to see how tight we are. Again, it does not mean we're doomed, but 24 and 25, and I think 25 more so for the Greer-McDaniel regime, is critical. Chubb, we heard about Phillips. His leg's really atrophy. He's not coming back anytime real soon, and neither is Chubb. And so this 24 season is more of like, hey, we've got to make hay. We've got to get ourselves together and position ourselves, hopefully with no major injuries entering this 25 season. And so how we manage ourselves this year and next is critical. And I don't think we can go all in, and I'm going to show you clearly the numbers say that. Now, on another point, I've been doing this thing like almost 4 years now, and when I first started doing it, I was hot to trot and kind of cooled off after that because I didn't, follow the hopium train. But I had two big podcasters say, hey, why don't you come on, Dolphin podcasters? And my man Tommy at Mafia Sports Report, he and I became best friends. I'm always over there, but he's a Bills fan. But one of the big podcasters kind of was like a little shady. Never went on air. No one just didn't get back. You understand? But no one has ever asked me on their channel as from a Dolphins channel. And I just figured, you know what? I'm an oddball. Yeah, I get it. Okay. I'm in the hinterland of the Dolphins community. So I just figured that was the way it was going to be. I had really nice guys at Finn's Talk Sports Network contact me and say they actually like my stuff and they wanted to have me on. So I'm going to be on tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's so bizarre. I mean, good news for the Miami Dolphins. Per Curtis from Aceberhead. And it's weird. It makes me feel like I'm legit or something, like I'm somebody. That was really cool. It's really nice, these guys, to be very generous to invite me on their channel. And they're good guys. I've watched them. So come check me out there. The link will be below. Finn's Talk Sports Network tonight, 6:30 p.m. So, guys, I want to thank you for everything you do. The likes, the subscribes, the comments, the views. All that stuff keeps me doing this thing. And really, every time I put one of these podcasts out, I cringe. I'm like, uh-oh. They're going to chase me out like Frankenstein. And I get to do another one. And I love it. And I'm grateful. So I want to give you a shout out. And a shout out to Aceberhead, my sponsor. Because without you, this show ain't going down. Aceberhead's betting software is the premier white label platform for bookies to manage their players and grow their sportsbook operation. Click the link in the description below to get set up in minutes. Ask for the Curtis promo and get a special introductory discount. You have to be sober. The NFL is about give and take. It's not the way it used to be. You have a big owner and he just spends unlimited money. You have to judiciously use your draft picks and use your capital. There's only so much money. People will say there's no cap. Well, if there was no cap, we would have Wilkins, Connor, and Hunt and VG back. But we don't, because there is a cap. And at a certain point, you have to let guys go. And I don't want another season like this. In 2022, I said we could sign Hunt and Wilkins at a very cheap price and Van Ginkel. And if we didn't, we might lose them. We're in a situation now where Holland is going to be a free agent next year. Long Jr. is going to be a free agent. You're going to let him walk. Tua, he's going to be a free agent. Are we going to give him the big contract? I thought maybe we weren't. I thought maybe we'll let a fifth-year option play out. But if you want to, that's a lot of money that goes on the books. And then Waddle's going to be in his fifth-year contract. Do you want to wait to the end of that to sign another contract? It's going to go up a couple million. So, and maybe he won't want to play. Maybe he'll hold out. I mean, he's been injured. Does he want to get his ACL blown out in his fifth-year contract? Look what we did to Connor. Understand that, guys, that when we didn't sign Connor long-term and he blew his knee out, he came out and played football again. And he got hurt on money. And the players might not have animus towards Greer, but they're like, oh, man, I got to guard myself. And so you got a lot of guys. And, hey, Eichenberg, I don't want to sign Eichenberg, but if we're committing to him this year and we spend a second and third and all this time, Greer's probably going to want to sign him again. That's another free agent. And so we're at minus, you see the little graphic I'm going to put up here so you don't have to look at my monkey face. We're at minus 11.3 million next year. And, you know, for those people who say, well, just push money forward. Well, you can a little bit. But when you look at the numbers, the real numbers, you're going to see there is a lot less wiggle room than this year. So take a look here. It's 2025. We got pre-June dead money and cap space left and right, and then post-June dead money cap space left and right. And if you quickly look at it, and I'll go over it in detail, there's only two spots where you can really be in the black if you want to make a move, and that's Jason Sanders and Raheem Mostert, and that's like a total of $4 million. That's not a lot of money, guys. So Tyreek Hill, you know, you want to release him, you're going to save 11 and lose 23. You're not going to. You may do post-June, but you can't then use that money for your players. Okay, so you want to push that money forward. Do you really want to lock in Tyreek Hill even farther with all this craziness that's going on? I mean, I don't know if it's all true, but there's certainly parts of it that's a lot true. This guy is like, you know, I mean, it's a dangerous thing to lock yourself in from the way he's behaving off the field. Then Chubb, I screwed it up. I thought it was 1.2 dead and 27 free. Totally no. You can't get rid of him pre-June. Post-June, you'll get 20 and 9, but you're still losing 9, and you're only getting 20, which is like only, but it's not a ton. Considering minus 11, you got to sign a lot of big players. Tehran, you can't get rid of him pre-June. Post-June, you'll make 7. You know, I guess if Paul plays out for you, then you want to. But then if you're going in a critical year and he's not certain to be ready, they might be going with him in Tehran next year as well. Waddle, you're not going to get rid of. Ramsey, I had these flipped too. It's 25 dead, only $1 million saved pre-June. And post-June, yeah, you would get 13. And maybe if Cam Smith plays out of his mind, you could do it, but it's 13. And you'll lose a major player. And then Zach Seal, you're not going to get rid of. Austin Jackson, you can't do a pre-June, and they're not going to. I mean, Greer is totally committed. And these are the guys that are, the rest of you look down the line, there's only a couple million a year are there. And you got 50 guys on the roster, but you start cutting these guys, that goes down. And some of those guys on the roster, guys that, you know, if they pan out this year, like a Peely and a Tyndall and, you know, Jordan Brooks and these guys, they play really well. It's going to help us a ton, but not all of them going to. And you're going to have to replace some of these guys. And so, you know, the money that we get from Howard's going to be about 18. You tie it to the 2 that we got. It's about 20. You got to pay for your draft class. It's like 6 or 7, so it gives you 13. Now, I could see you go out and maybe get a DI or a OL interior, and you spend $3 or $4 million. From what we're hearing, you better get a backup center unless you want an Eichenberg again. I mean, Brewer's nicked. You know, I'm not saying he's going to be nicked when the season comes, but that's not good. What, you know, You don't want that. You really don't. So maybe you could spend 3 or 4 million on 2 guys. If you save 8 or 9 from Xavien Howard's money, you're paying like 18 million dead to him next year. You take the 8 million and at least you could pay your draft class off next year and you don't got to worry about it. And you can make your moves and try to get, because it's going to be expensive to try to get Holland here long term and try to keep Tua. And it's not, you go to 26 and we only got 76 million. I think it's like 30 something players. So guys, I know it's hard to trot. You'll definitely get lots of clicks talking about getting this guy and that guy. And I know that you could just say whatever you want, and if it doesn't work out, as long as it's hopium, people forget. But the reality is, I know so many people, fans, commenters, podcasters said, all in on 23. And then when the high passed and it didn't pan out, it was like, uh-oh, what was this? We've got to make 24 and 25 happen. It's critical for Greer and McDaniel. And we're entering, like I said, Marvin Lewis territory if we don't have success by 25. And I mean real success. So I think this money should be best served on small purchases and push forward to next year. But that's my take. We'll see. Thanks for stopping by. Be well. Go Fins. Curtis out. Start building your own online sportsbook today by getting signed up with acepread.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.